Do you post something where
Yes,
the recorders? Okay.
yes, we're gonna email. We email the copies, and then we'll also post it as well. So everybody will get last month. Last month's has already been sent out. So if anybody did not receive last month's PSA, public service announcement, how to, it was a huge success, and our team would love to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. We know that everybody's busy, so we thank you for taking the time to be here and celebrate not only women in Rotary this month, but also public image in general, because it is everything. So, again, thank you for coming. And we have a special guest today. It is an honor to have a dear friend who has taken some time out of her busy day to talk about not only women in Rotary, but her journey in Rotary as a leader and as a woman in her community that's making impact. So, please welcome Past Director Mary Beth Growney Selene. Thanks for being here, Mary Beth.
Thank you all. It's so wonderful to see so many friends and new faces. I just want to thank all of you for your contributions to our clubs and our districts and our zones. I think the work that you're doing in public image is second to none. So thank you so much. And thank you, Patrick, for your kind invitation to join you today. It is really an honor to be able to share my Rotary journey with all of you. I have to tell you, it's the first presentation I've written in a long time that I didn't worry about PowerPoints. So thanks for that. Yesterday, when I was reviewing my notes, I was watching the University of Wisconsin women's hockey team playing against Ohio State in the NCAA championship. Our coach, Mark Johnson, was on the 1980 U.S. Miracle on Ice gold medal team. Our hometown hero has now coached the Wisconsin women to 9 national championships. I actually wrote that paragraph while the game was still going on, so I kept an X for however many they had, including their win last night. In his 23 years as head coach, I believe his success is based certainly on talent, but also on his leadership style and values. This week he had significant quotes in the newspaper that exemplify everything he stands for. And I quote, "It doesn't matter who is on the ice. It doesn't matter who is scoring. It is just about what I can do to help the team. It's not about me. It never has been, and it never will be." End quote. These are powerful words that represent how we can help each other achieve others' goals. Before we start, and you're going to have a hard time believing this, please know that I and me are two of my least favorite words, particularly in Rotary. My favorite words are we and us. With that said, you're going to hear a lot of I's and me's from me today. I was invited to join Rotary in October of 1987, the first year women were allowed in Rotary in the United States. From my first day, I never thought of myself as a woman Rotarian. I was welcomed as a Rotarian. It wasn't until the following Council on Legislation, I think about 1990, that women were allowed to join Rotary worldwide. I can't remember the source. However, I'm aware that Rotary members in India and Sri Lanka in particular advocated for women in Rotary at councils on legislations as far back as the 1950s. So even though the first women in Rotary were Americans, let's not kid ourselves into thinking our male counterparts were the revolutionists.
Look forward to seeing y'all this
I
coming
joined in
weekend.
1987 with the start of the 1988-89 Rotary year, I was asked to serve as our club's sergeant at arms. I had clearly presented myself as a pain in the neck, and our new club president took a chance that a new member and a woman had what it took to make our guests and visiting Rotarians feel welcome. I will be forever grateful to Hal Rebholz for taking that chance. I had a blast that year. We met at a Bishop's Buffet, and I don't know how many of you had Bishop's Buffets in the day, but our tables were long. People sat on both sides, and one of my responsibilities was checking for Rotary pins. And so I just went around to every table and made sure that every single person had a pin. And if they didn't, I fined them. Well, this older gentleman was a member of the Downtown Madison Club and visited our club on a fairly regular basis. He was in the women's clothing business and he was just a classy guy, always came in a jacket and tie. And one day I was behind him as I was checking for pins and I leaned over to say hi to him, to welcome him again. And I noticed that his collar on his jacket was up. So I'm chatting with other people at the table and I'm trying to turn his collar down. Well, what he was doing was in the front of his jacket, he was holding his collar up because he didn't have his pin on. We laughed and laughed and laughed, but Harry kept coming as often as he possibly could to our club. And I think part of it was because he felt welcome and he always had a good time. I believe I joined our Rotary Board of Directors in about 1989 and was selected to serve as club president in 93, 94, which I believe is the best job in Rotary. My theme that year had nothing to do with the RI president's theme. I actually can't even remember the theme or who the president was the first year I served as president. No worries. I do remember our district governor, who became a lifelong friend, Mr. Don Mayo. Boy, do I miss him, his humor, and his leadership style. So because I couldn't remember what I was supposed to remember, I created my own theme, which was semi-appropriate at the time and totally inappropriate today. It was, I have a gun and I have PMS. It's the gun part that's inappropriate today. Truly, it was a combination of a threat of a gun and PMS that got all of my members to say yes whenever I asked and to do whatever I asked for. I've carried that mantra with me ever since, though in a less intimidating manner. If you are interested in serving, don't say no. When the year of my service as club president in 93, 94 was coming to an end, I received a letter, yes, a letter, back then we all did letters, from the district governor-elect, asking me for recommendations on my club members who might be interested in serving on the district level. As I was preparing a list of those members who I thought would be interested in specific roles, I thought to myself, wait a minute, you never asked me as an outgoing club president if I would be interested in serving beyond the club level. I offered to serve as a governor's representative, which that title became an assistant governor years later. Once you say yes, do the job you have agreed to do and do it the best way you can. Don't look at what's next. When you do a good job, the people who should notice do notice. Too many people in Rotary are charting their path forward instead of serving in the present. How should you treat people? Honor all members of your club by showing respect and gratitude for their friendship and service. Always say please. Always say thank you. If you have a question, ask it directly. Don't be passive aggressive. If you are asked a question, answer it directly. Don't be evasive. This is how we and others learn. Treat others as you would like to be treated. When you're serving in a leadership role, others have the opportunity to learn from you. I have a few words of advice, and those of you who know me aren't surprised. Never act like you know everything. We can all learn from each other, and we can always learn more. Don't get me wrong, I can be a badass. I'm a process and procedure person. I believe our Rotary clubs work best with policies and guidelines, not wishy-washy antics. Engage others. Don't do everything yourself. Encourage leadership in others. A couple years ago, our golf outing committee was looking for a new treasurer. The person who had done it for a few years decided he wanted out. And he had tried to find someone the year before, and however that person was doing it didn't meet this gentleman's standards. So this was right after COVID. And I noticed that one of our younger members was really adept at IT. So I called him and asked him if he would consider being the golf treasurer. And he said, well, tell me what it's about. So I kind of went through the list of things. And he said, yeah, can I get together with you and this outgoing treasurer to talk about it? So we met that Friday before the club meeting. And the outgoing treasurer had folders upon folders upon folders of stuff. And John, our treasurer, or the new member, brought his computer. So the outgoing person says, well, you have to, not you may want to, you have to create this spreadsheet, you have to create that spreadsheet, you have to do this, you have to do that, blah, blah, blah. And John took, the young member took everything in hand and he said, great. He said, let me think about it. So he called me on Monday morning and he said, yeah, I can do this. And he said, but can I do it my way? I said, you can do it any way you want as long as you're saying yes. He found some platforms that meet our needs. He creates a dashboard for the committee telling us how many golfers are registered, how many sponsors we have, how many donations, everything you can imagine on one spreadsheet. He creates a spreadsheet for me whenever I ask for it for the names of golfers, the names of our sponsors, how much they've contributed to their sponsorship, everything. When we're sitting in this discovery meeting, the outgoing treasurer says, you're kind of an IT guy. What makes you think you're qualified to do this? And the new member looked at him and he said, I was an accounting major in college. When the older person, the retiring person said, he never looked beyond this gentleman's age and what he thought his specialties were. I don't know why I thought as an IT person he might be a good treasurer, but I hit the jackpot and he continues to be our golf outing treasurer and he is phenomenal. Never make it about you and always, always, always please be humble. My personal journey, excuse me, my personal Rotary journey, following my year as club president, I served as club secretary for 3 or 4 years. And then I served as a governor's representative / assistant governor from 95 to 99. I served as my district's governor, which is southwestern Wisconsin in 6250 in 2000 to 2001. And by the way, this was the first year that all of our club presidents had email. And I know that's hard to believe in 2025. I was our district membership chair and foundation chair in the years between 2001 and 2006. I began my service with the Zone Rotary Foundation positions from 2003 to 2006. I served as Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator from 2006 to 2009. I was the Zone Public Image Chair from 2009 to 10. I was in the inaugural class of Rotary coordinators, now thankfully back to regional membership coordinators, as it should be, from 2010 to 13. I was selected to serve as Rotary International Director from 2013 to 2015. And then I was elected to serve as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation from 2016 to 2019. I currently serve on the Operations Review Committee, and that is one of the longest serving committees in all of Rotary. I was appointed in 2021, and my service is up in 2027. It's a 6-year term. I'm a member and chair of the Rotary Action Group for Addiction Prevention. I am a member and I'm past chair of the WASH Rotary Action Group Board of Directors. And again, the best job ever. I am currently serving once again as the president of Madison West Middleton Rotary Club with our tagline, the coolest Rotary Club in the world. How Rotary has shaped my life is one of the things that Patrick asked me to talk about. The best outcome of my Rotary membership is that I met my husband in district governor-elect training. We were from adjoining districts and we married on January 1st, 2001, halfway through our year of service. Alan always has and always will continue to support my Rotary commitments. My business, which I started in the same year I joined Rotary, has benefited from my Rotary involvement, though I have never sought out business. It has always come to me. I've never wanted people to feel obligated to do business with me. Rather, they come to me with an understanding of my integrity. I have worked full-time throughout my Rotary service. My fellow Rotary members are my good friends, well, most of them. And to think without Rotary, I would likely not know most of these people. Joining Rotary is the best decision I ever made, and I cannot imagine my life without it. Thank you all for letting me share my thoughts.
Thank you so much. Just listening to this, you have such an inspiring journey, and the impacts that you have been a part of and made are countless. There's an energy that you have when we're in the room together. It's just like, I know that we could get whatever we need done. Like you're just a doer, with a capital D. And thank you for taking the time to be here. I had questions, but you answered all of them. You answered all of them. But, and I think you might have covered some of this, but I'm going to ask again. What was that moment in Rotary that you went from being a member to a Rotarian? Like your Rotary moment, that moment where you're like, I'm going to dedicate the time necessary in my life to making sure not only this organization is strong, but the world is a better place.
You know, it's an excellent question. I think my partial entry was probably the first year I served as club president when I realized what an incredible group of people were in our club. And you, as a president, as all of you know, you get to know the whole group. People make phone calls to you that they might not make to someone else. They, you know, in my day, they sent faxes, or even cards. But when I did my first international service trip, that's when I realized the global impact of Rotary. I went to Haiti for the first time, and I was told we were building a house in northern Haiti, and we ran out of water to make the mortar for we were building a house out of stones and mortar. And the wonderful people from World Vision said to me, we really appreciate you volunteering, but if you get one drop of water on your skin, we will have to airlift you to Miami.
Wow.
That was a weird aha, but it spoke to the tragedy of filthy and infectious water that so many of our world neighbors are stuck with. And I think that was also probably my entree to water sanitation and hygiene Rotary Action Group, though it took me a few more years to get involved in that.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this, and then we'll open it up to any questions anybody else has here with us today. What what do you see might be a challenge for women in Rotary still today? And something that you would tell someone that is, a working mom, working, one, two jobs, whatever it may be in their story, with your career. Hey, this is the organization for you. Come jump in. I know you sort of talked a little bit about that earlier, but I'm just curious, what are some of the challenges you see through all the experience you've had?
Well, I think one of the, rather than a challenge, I see that the changes that we've made over the last several years, eliminating the word attendance from our vocabulary and focusing on engagement is a huge step forward. And I think assuring people that they're not going to be judged if they maybe can only participate in a service project once a month. I've always loved the club experience because I think that's where you kind of get to know people a little bit. But we have people that maybe make a club meeting once or twice a month, and everyone welcomes them with open arms. They're not put on a guilt trip, and I think that's huge. Just say, "My gosh, we're so glad you're here." Period. instead of, we're so glad you're here. Where have you been? I mean, the where have you been is the guilt trip, and it's the judging. Um, but I think one-on-one conversations with people are really good. We have a young woman that joined our club, and she literally, well, actually, this is kind of a funny story. She's relatively young, and my club has always been multi-generational. And her occupation is she sells cemetery plots for a living. And I'm telling my daughter that this young gal comes to visit our club, and she goes, Mom, she's sizing you up. No, she's not. But she had read several different articles about becoming engaged in your community, and she talked to her boss, and she said, "Will you support me if I decide to join a Rotary Club?" And she said, "I think it's a great way for me to get more involved in the community. It's a great way for people to know more about what I do professionally." And her boss was very, very supportive. And she's there almost every week. I mean, and she is a bright addition to our club, but she's quiet. And so I make sure people, I don't force people, but it's like in kind of general, make sure you let people know how happy you are to see them. Thank them for coming, knowing what a busy schedule they have. And I think it's any of that kind of warmth and welcome that really makes people feel good and want to come back.
Yeah. In fact, I think you and I have been on the road seeing Director-elect Tom's talk about saying thank you.
Mhm.
You know, saying thank you is such a key and just honoring people. And that's something that our team is really pushing with our public image is everything message, which you've heard. And today, your talk had so much public image is everything in it. You know, it's the vibe of your club. It's how people feel welcomed and inspired and engaged. And you know what it's like when you walk in a club and you feel that. And you know what it's like when you don't.
Mhm.
And I just really appreciate everything you said today. And thank you for sharing your story. There's some comments already in the chat section. I guess you were inspiring today for sure, because people are saying thank you for being so inspiring. But I'd like to open it up to the floor. We have a few minutes. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to unmute and ask away. And don't be shy. Yes,
Mary Beth,
Tom.
this is Norland Hinkie,
Oh,
District
okay. Yeah,
6000. That
go for
okay,
it.
Pat?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I wrote down three things that you really had delegate. On the southern half of Iowa, we have 65 clubs, 11 um, extension clubs, companion clubs, we're calling them now, and we have three Rotaract. I noticed that so many of the presidents think they have to do everything themselves instead of using the talents of their people. And that would be so much more beneficial. They would engage those. And you talked about a quiet person. When you travel and you get to know them and you pick out the personality, those quiet people sometimes have the best talents of anybody. They just don't broadcast it.
Agreed.
Humility, I think that's a word I drum over and over with my grandson. And being governor is not about being governor, it's about the members and the clubs. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
great. That's great. Thank you, Norland. Tom, you had your hand up.
So Mary Beth's always been one of my mentors, and it's not just the wonderful words she shared with us, her life lives it. Um, to go through all the way up the Rotary ladder to the very tops of Rotary and then come back and serve as your club president. But I tell you, it's not just her club president. She's on the curriculum committee for our multi-district pets and PELs, our president learning events. Everything she does with passion, she does with caring. And she's always willing to take a call. So she's the best.
That's
You're so
awesome.
sweet.
That is awesome. Thank you, Tom. Anybody else have a question for Mary Beth? Yes, Ben.
I got one. Mary Beth, awesome to see you.
Thank you too, Ben.
Um, I promise I'm not going to stump you. Um, I didn't know that you served in a public image role at the zone level. So, since a lot of us here are wearing the public image hat, I'm curious, what have you seen as like the biggest change from at least outside in today, looking at public image now compared to what it was like in your role some time ago, and then maybe bonus information, like what do you think is our most important task or biggest challenge that we need to keep in mind?
It's a great question, Ben, and I must preface my response by saying the zone public image chair resembled the RPICS zero. I mean, public image was not a thing. I think one of the most important things, at least to me in my leadership roles, has been the brand center. I love the brand center. Um, and and one, well, not one, all of my club members get really pissed at me when I insist that we use our brand. If I see something that's got a blue and gold logo on it, I say this can't go out to anybody. Can't go out to anybody. And I send it to them. I mean, every member of our club has our brand in their inbox. I think just talking about things and helping people understand that everything we do and everything we say in the name of Rotary is an opportunity for us to reach out to others. And I think our RPICs have done a great job of that. Ben and I are in the same district, 6250, and our bulletin editor, our district newsletter editor is amazing. Every month she sends us a note saying, hey, I'm looking for newspaper or newsletter articles. These are the kinds of things that we're looking for. And oh, by the way, when you're writing those articles, include A, B, C, D, and E. So even for non-journalists, we get this template every month. And I think that we're seeing much improved articles in the district newsletter every single month, because we're getting help. And that's what you all are doing, is you're giving us the resources to be successful. And I think we are also using those same resources to reach out to the community when we are doing a community project, when we're doing a joint community project, anything that helps build our role. The other thing is too, is when I first started in Rotary, we didn't talk about what we were doing. We just did it. We were really quiet about taking credit for anything. And I'm so glad that's gone away. I'm so glad that's gone away. Did I answer your question, Ben?
Music to our ears, Mary Beth. Well done. Great job.
Thank you.
That was good. Thank y'all so much. We have two more questions. Liz.
So interestingly, Mary Beth, hi, very nice to see you
Good
again.
to see you
You
too.
were one of the more amazing, inspirational women in Rotary when I don't even know what role I was in when I first met you, but I was just today at my last club visit that just had to be pushed off a whole bunch of times. And I met with the board and they happened to have some placemats on the tables. I'm like, yeah, so this wheel all by itself? Yeah, no. And they understood, and so I was telling them, just different things about the brand, and literally we have correct branding for every club in our district on our district website.
So cool.
But what I got was, well, we have a lot more important things to worry about, like membership and these other things, and we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money trying to redo our whatever signs or whatever they have. And so I'm looking for input. I did say, I mean, we have someone in our district who's like, look, I'll do a Zoom for an hour or 2 hours or whatever. We're willing to help them, but somehow, this isn't a new logo.
It's not
what you think it is. And so I'm just looking for, like, how to respond to that.
Sometimes giving people an example helps. Like, how many McDonald's vary from the corporate brand?
I use Coca-Cola. And if they're franchisee, what if you want to use a different font? They are not going to be happy with that.
That's right. And those signs are coming down. I mean, the signs would never get approved in the first place, but people need to understand that the reason that McDonald's is successful and Apple, I mean, my gosh, Apple doesn't even use a word. Well, McDonald's doesn't even need to use the word. They use the golden arches. But all of the big names, if they let their franchisors or franchisees do whatever they wanted and manipulate the brand however they wanted, nobody would know if they were looking at a real Amazon or not. I just got a pair of tennis shoes that delivered this afternoon. And I looked at them and I said, are these Adidas? Because they had the, three angled stripes of Adidas. I had to look at those shoes for like 10 minutes to figure out that it was a takeoff of Adidas. I don't remember if I saw Adidas when I ordered them on Amazon or not. But it's like they're that's what people think we are, but they're not Amazon. It's not McDonald's and it's not Rotary.
So what do we do? And this came up. So, our new logo that's literally on my shirt
Mhm.
is not round. All of the like the signs when you come into a town, I know my town, there's, Lions and Kiwanis and Rotary and Knights of Columbus and whoever else, and they're all round. We can still
I,
use the round.
I'll take this one. So that is a legacy sign. So technically you can still have it up there. But what
Okay.
we're trying to encourage is as money is available, there are new master brand signs available that are way more eye-catching. And especially if you put your Rotary master brand for your club on a sign, that's really catching. They'll know what to search for in the community. And to answer another of what you were to piggyback on what Mary Beth was saying, what our team really pushes is not only the importance of the fact that Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Apple, Nike, they have brand consistency because they want one day not to have to say Nike, Apple, McDonald's. The same thing goes for Rotary. Rotary has spent countless hours and a little bit of money, not millions and millions and millions, but some money to create a brand center and style guide and visual identity, voice and visual identity. The reason why this is important, and this is the key, our team is really pushing this, and Liz, I know you've heard this before, is the why behind brand consistency. And that is that whatever club projects that your club that you were at today, and congratulations on finishing your last club visit, whatever club project they're doing will get the same credit of impact as a club in India, a club in Korea, a club in New York City, a club in Arizona, a club in Austin, Texas. And what that does is, and what we've been saying lately is, we want your friends to be so annoying in 5 years that everywhere they travel, they start running to you and saying, oh my God, is that the organization you're really a part of? Because more and more people are going to start to see, oh, wait a minute. That's Rotary, just like they see, oh, that's Starbucks. Oh, that's Apple. And our impact is going to be felt across the world. We can't do that if a club decides to put bluebonnets in the middle of a brand or a sailboat coming out of the mountain. I mean, we've seen everything, okay? We've seen a roller coaster coming down a hill with a rotary wheel. We can't get that brand consistency for the communities. And like what Mary Beth said earlier, back in the day, people just did stuff, they didn't talk about it. What we like to say, and I hate the word, is bragging. We've got to brag. We've got to share the work we're doing. And the best way to start is through brand consistency. And I understand our team understands the money situation. In fact, Ben and I were just in Chicago talking about this, and I was just in Minnesota talking about this, where it's like we know it costs money to fix badges, fix flags, fix all this. It costs nothing to create a logo on the brand center or go to your district website and grab that logo and at least make sure your front facing website, your front facing Facebook, your front facing Instagram is correct. And then slowly but surely start to add in, I mean, printing costs, I know that's a little much, but you can probably fix the placemats pretty quickly. But the banners and the badges, we have compassion, we understand, but start thinking that way because the truth is, we're looking for innovators of all ages. And innovators of all ages from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they are looking for fresh and they're looking to walk in a place and go, oh, these people take time to care about what they look like. And these people take time to care about brand consistency because innovators look for that. So that's, I know it's a lot of words, but it actually has been working. The more people start to feel the why, then they go, oh, okay, we want credit. We want our impact to be shared across the board, and then they start to shift. I hope that helps.
If I could add too,
Yeah.
because you gave me a little food for thought, I
Hope you
think
feel better soon.
I
Oh,
think it
sorry.
adds to our integrity as an organization.
Mm.
I remember years ago, Alan and I were on a cruise to Jamaica and we hopped off, and somebody had said when we first got off the boat that they had a Hard Rock Cafe in town. Well, first of all, it wasn't in town. I can't remember which city we were in. Um, we had to take a renegade cab to get there, which is also suspect. And we got there and it was a rundown bar, would never even make diners, drive-ins, and dives. And we get in there and we said, "Are you a Hard Rock Cafe?" "Oh, yeah, yeah." And our thing in that time was to collect their little shot glasses. And it had the Hard Rock Cafe logo, sort of, but it didn't have a registered trademark.
Yeah.
I'm in the sign business, so registered trademarks are really important to me. And I said to Alan, this is, assuming we get back to the ship safely, this has really been a fun little adventure. But they jeopardized the reputation of all Hard Rock cafes by doing what they did. Because then it makes you question, if you're, in another kind of offbeat place, is this a real Hard Rock cafe? And the real Hard Rock cafes suffer because of that. And I think that's kind of the integrity of the brand that Patrick is speaking to.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I was just at Kyle Hoggins' house, and he collects the beer mugs, and he has like hundreds of, I mean, I don't even know how many he has, but I haven't seen so many Hard Rock Cafe from all over the world. I used to collect the t-shirts from Planet Hollywood, but that brand didn't last very long. So no offense to anybody watching.
Develop relics, Patrick.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Liz, for your question. And Chuck, go for it.
Hey, thank you, Patrick, and Mary Beth. Thank you so much. I mean, I think you and I have met somewhere along the
Yeah.
Rotary Road,
Yep.
and I really appreciate your presentation. I put a note in the chat that I could relate to what my Rotary moment happened the same time you did as well. And comment and then a question. Comment is that sign, that logo that we have for Rotary is so important and does so much. About maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, right before COVID, my brother and I were traveling around some little village in Lithuania because we were checking out some routes, and came to find a place for lunch, trying to find a place to eat. And sure enough, we came across this little place out in the middle of the country. And sure enough, it had that Rotary emblem on it. And that said, this place is probably pretty good since they host the local club meeting. Unfortunately, we were there one day before, but we still experienced the place. And also, when I was looking to hire someone to take care of my mother-in-law's business, one of the persons I interviewed, first thing I saw in the office was a Rotary sign. So yeah, no matter where you are, whether home or abroad, it really does something, that logo. So yeah, I especially appreciate, Patrick, what you and Mary Beth have said about how important it is to maintain it and maintain the standard. Now here's my question. In our district here in Northeast Kansas, we have 40 clubs. And unfortunately, we only have 19 listed public image chairs. With our pets and or PELs coming up this very week, any thoughts or suggestions that you have that we could encourage our PEs, that besides appointing that membership chair and recruiting that foundation chair, you got to have that public image chair? And the comment, for example, that, hey, we have to deal with membership and foundation, we don't have time for public image. One person's opinion, I believe it's so short-sighted. As a former marketing salesperson, public image and membership go hand in hand like marketing and sales. You got to have it. But any thoughts that you have in which we can encourage our PEs to, not only have a public image chair, but also that they participate in various types of things that our district does and our zone does, like this call, to help them? help their clubs.
The one thing that comes to mind for me, and I'm sure many of you on the call have better responses, but peer-to-peer support. It sounds like you've got about 50% of your club that have public image chairs. Instead of having
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so instead of having facilitators talk about what a good idea it is, I might suggest that you make sure that when you're talking about public image, you divide those between the haves and the have-nots, so that the haves can talk and stress the importance and how they've benefited from having a public image chair in the club.
Yeah, I think that's so important because obviously, the more peer-to-peer advice and conversation, the more it flows, right? Like if I know you've been in the trenches or you're in the trenches right now and something's working, I might take it on more than someone that's facilitating that might have never been in the situation we're in. To add to that, um, Chuck, just so you know, the resources we have, and of course, I think I'm going to be with you and Tom in a couple days.
You are. I can't wait for
Right?
you
Which I'm
to
so
come back to
bummed.
Kansas.
I'm bummed that I'm not riding with Tom this time. We were going to go do a food tour. But anyways, we
Oh,
have a Club PI chair description. And if Ben or Pam or Rebecca, hi everybody, if y'all could, one of you put it in the chat section, that would be awesome. It is in our regional
all
zones
right, it is there.
25B-29.org public image resource library. But this PI chair description is not from RI or anywhere else. It's from our team. It's from what we've seen work, not only from our own experience, but from experiences being on the ground. And so that is the first thing that we're going to make sure that every PE sees. But secondly, public image is everything. So Liz, I was going to say this and I forgot to, and Chuck, thank you for reminding me. Public image is everything. If a club is struggling for membership and they go out and they recruit members at an event and they walk into that club and they have old stale branding, it's not welcoming, it's not friendly, or the food sucks. You just lost those members. And public image is all those things, as we all know. And I know you guys are hearing it now. And I love when we go to places now, people go, public image is everything in the hall. And I'm like, yes, it is. But it is. And so if you don't have a public image chair or a public image team, some clubs might have enough members to have a couple club members on a team, then yeah, you're missing the boat because without that foundational, making sure branding's correctly, make sure the impacts are being shared in the community, but also more importantly, that the public image is everything model, the secret sauce model is being implemented in the club, then yeah, membership and foundation is going to hurt and suffer. And I know we don't have studies to show this, but we have people running up to us at these events now, coming up and saying we took that message back and it's working. And so we're real excited. In fact, I had a gentleman in Minnesota come up to me almost with tears in his eyes, saying that he took that message back and it worked. And someone in Chicago saw us at TriCon last year, Ben and I, and said the same thing. They just the message of public image is everything. So I think, first of all, what Mary Beth said, getting a room full of people that actually are doing it and succeeding, and having them talk to the ones that are maybe having some challenges, and having that support mechanism, getting the club PI chair description out to them, and we'll make sure they have it when we're at Heartland. And I'm gonna bring this up when I speak on Friday and in the training on Sunday. And
Thank you.
then making sure that everyone realizes that come in thinking public image membership and foundation are working hand in hand. I've got my sister here on the call. She's my coordinator, regional leader sister, Sharon. She and I have worked together hand in hand. Our teams are starting to work together, and Demetrius as well and her team. We're trying to show that, and it's slowly coming together where the teams we're going to be meeting again, and it's definitely next year and then moving forward, whoever moves forward with this region, we want to make sure that we're also walking the walk. So I hope that helps. And Ben or Rebecca, do you have anything? Pam, do you have anything you want to say?
Patrick, I just want to say, and also Mary Beth, thank you so much for those comments. And Patrick, I appreciate what you're going to say to the RPEs this coming week, and maybe we can award you with some more ribs
Oh
from
yeah. Well,
Kansas.
if you don't think that Tom and I aren't going to go eat some barbecue, then you got nothing going.
Oh, I'll be
But
joining you. I can't
and I'm
wait.
doing an interpretive dance this time. I'm not speaking, so hopefully.
Oh, I can't wait, and we'll film it
Okay,
too,
I
and that
want
will
to
be
see
the best.
the interpretive.
I'm losing my mind, folks. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, and
Um,
Mary Beth, what you're saying about peer to peer is so important, and it just gave me an idea to do in the next 3 months. So that's real critical. So thank you both, y'all, and Tom and Patrick. Travel safe to come see us.
Thank you. Well, hey, wish us both luck because the airports are crazy these days. So knocking on wood. And also just on everything we're talking about, it's not, and I know you guys know this, but it really benefits repeating, especially for those who are going to watch the recording. It's not about dictating this to people, as we know. It's not about yelling this to people, as we know. It's about inspiring this and inspiring the importance of why. And actually taking the moment, like Mary Beth said, and saying, "Hi, thank you. Thank you for just doing what you're doing. And how can we help you? And how can we meet you where you are? And how can we support you in getting this public image off the ground?" Because as you all know, it is what, April coming up soon? Being a club president by April, you've had a lot. You've had a lot of successes. You've had some challenges. And the last thing you want to hear is someone saying, "Why haven't you done this?" Instead, it's like, "Hey, how can we help you? How can we help you end the year strong and get that public image off the ground?" Ben, do you have anything you want to say? No? Okay.
There's so much I could say. I don't know. Yeah. Is there any aspect of what you just said that you'd like me to address specifically, Bill?
No, just any other, yeah, just any other things that you might want to
I
add
mean,
to going to a club president and saying, "Hey,
yeah. I mean, I guess, I think whether we're talking to club presidents or club public image chairs or seeing a lot of DGEs and DGNs on the call and stuff, I think what's most important, whatever role we're in or whatever kind of Rotarian we're talking to, is it's really important to meet people where they're at. I mean, there are some clubs that they maybe haven't had a public image chair for a long time, or maybe there's somebody that's been in that role, for an extended period of time and haven't had a lot of help. So I think, assessing the situation first and understanding maybe what their challenges have been or, what nudge they might need in the right direction for, the next step in their journey. I think it's really important. It's really easy for us as people that have the depth and breadth of Rotary knowledge that we have to come in and prescribe a bunch of things. And boy, I'll tell you, that is the easiest way to turn somebody off to the good advice that you're probably giving them.
yeah,
Understanding, what's one thing that you can do for them to just take that next step? And for a lot of clubs, sometimes, especially clubs with a public image chair, I think that the most logical next step for them is to find help in an official capacity, not just having the PE chip in every now and then or have somebody help them with promoting a fundraiser, but actually appointing someone to a public image team on the club level. And certainly the same applies to the district and things like that as well. And we just have to be realistic and acknowledge that, there's some 20 member clubs out there. And if you look at a leadership roster for what we encourage people to have between membership, public image, foundation, all the avenues of service, all that stuff, like it's impossible for some clubs to have a unique person in each of those roles. So a lot of them are wearing multiple hats. So meet them where they're at, be okay with some things giving a little bit and maybe some things not being stellar. And just make sure that, you can be the best support possible to make sure that you're encouraging them to give their energy in the place that's going to make the most impact for whatever their goals are.
yeah." Thank you, Ben. And yes, Mary Beth.
I just thought of something. I mean, these are such good comments. Um, Many of our clubs have a red badge policy where when you're a new member, part of your orientation is doing a few things to just kind of get you acclimated to the club and to Rotary. Well, our club has that policy, and we did when I joined in 87. So I, on my own, went to visit a Rotary club that met on Thursdays. My club meets on Fridays. And I went to this club, and the only person that spoke to me was the person that told me how much lunch was that day. I sat down at a table, and there were people on the left and right of me and across from me, and it was like I was invisible. That club did not welcome women. And I went back to my own club the next day and I said, "Hey, I worked on my red badge and I went to visit another Rotary club." And they said, "Where'd you go?" And I said, "Madison West." And they go, "Oh my God." They said, "We wish you would have talked to us about what club you were going to visit." That club never welcomed women. And about 3 years ago, we merged with that club. or they merged into us. Very few of the members of that club from 1987 are still in the club. There's a few, but they had a past district governor that did not want women in Rotary. Their argument was their wives would think they were having an affair. And I said, look at yourselves. They failed Rotary and so many potential women. They ended up allowing a few or inviting a few, but it was too little too late. Their younger members seceded from the club and started a new club that was welcoming. But they damaged the reputation of Rotary in our city. They had a reputation and it was horrible. And that's kind of the nuance of if you're not welcoming, the word will spread there as well.
Yeah, and I think we can piggyback on thank you for sharing that. And this is something we sort of say on the road these days is look, the world is very tense these days, no matter what political side of whatever. I'm not even getting into that. I'm getting into reality that when you walk into the grocery store, when you walk into any business, it is tense and people are on edge. And Rotary can be the space of inspiration and connection. And if we're all on this call, working hard to make sure that our Rotary spaces are inspiration and connection, but that one club, one of our friends goes, hey, I hear this is great. I see the joy in your eyes. I see the hope in your eyes. And I see the impact you're making. I'm going to go to blah, blah club where I live. And then they get treated where no one speaks to them or they get told, get out. My whole thing was when I first started speaking, someone snapped in my face and said, get out of my seat. The whole stories. That just completely destroys the potential opportunities for a huge impact from that person, not only into their community, but in their own lives. And so we don't have time for this anymore. And from a public image is everything standpoint, public image is the most important thing. The second someone walks in the door of a club, and this is the message we're spreading, is they should feel connected and inspired immediately. And the more you do that, the more people are going to line up. It's just the way it works. Thank you for that. Liz, you rose your hand.
Well, I did. So a number of years ago, we had a twin club in Tokyo, Japan, and same kind of thing, Mary Beth, with Madison West. There was just not a Rotary Club in Tokyo that would welcome women. And so they started their own club. And within, I want to say 5 to 10 years, I don't remember the exact time frame, but that club was 3 times the size of the one that would not allow women, because that had been like the elite, like that was the Rotary Club to belong to in Tokyo. Well, that shifted. And of course they invited men as well, but complete shift,
right?
Complete welcoming of everybody and totally overshadowed anybody else.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And again, we go ahead. Would you want to say something, Mary Beth? Sorry.
No.
We just want to be welcoming and we want to be inspiring. And boy, do we need it now more than ever. And so people are hungry for this. I will tell you, it is an honor to be on the road and see all the amazing parts of this region. And we're getting like real emotion after our talks now, like real emotion. Like people are jumping up out of their seats, not only to do a standing ovation, which is a nice gesture, but it's not a standing ovation for me or Ben or Amy or Lynn or anybody speaking. It's for the message. And it's for the fact that public image, this is our time. This is our time as leaders of public image and leaders of Rotary to make sure that we're inspiring and connecting and valuing people's time, which is Mary Beth, we couldn't have hit a softball or whatever that aligned our messages more. Our secret sauce for our team's message is inspiration, connection, value people's time, and be intentional. And valuing people's time is more crucial now than ever before. And that is why if I'm going to try to end this meeting a little early, so everybody, you always want to end a couple minutes early and start on time. And you want to value people when they walk in the door. So Liz, it's a great example. you're gonna start your own club. Go start your own club. Create the space that you want, and it succeeds as long as it's magical. And that's what inspiration is. Thank y'all. And I hope, does anybody else have any quick 1 minute like issue or anything they want to talk about with public image? Did you enjoy today?
Yes.
We're trying some new things out as a team. Yes, we're still going to have the open-ended conversations, but we want to continue to honor the themes of the month. Which, by the way, Pam, I wanted you to talk about that for 1 second. Can you please give us an update on the International Women's Campaign for our region, real quickly? And I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Patrick. So we have this month, we went and we sent out emails to the DG line and to our public image chairs for the district, asking them to celebrate the Women in Rotary. We created templates for the districts to use out there that have the correct logos on them. And you can use it underneath the public image tab. There is a Women in Rotary tab for you that you can find your template. We are still sharing those images. So we've been sharing, we've had at least 7 districts participate, and different clubs throughout the districts are sending us their images. So we've been sharing those on social media.
Thank
Hey
you for that.
Pam, did you send that to all the DG lines in the clubs in the districts
I
rather?
did.
Somehow I did not remember seeing it. I'm sorry.
It's been sent twice. It's under my name, but it's from the team. So if you search Women in Rotary this last month, and you should see it. Um, Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca just put
Okay.
the file on the chat for the Club PI chair. Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you, Pam, for leading this. This is very important. We want to continue to honor not only women in Rotary, but we're going to be doing another People of Action. We have these different campaigns that the team comes up with. So please, if you know that your district hasn't sent any yet, please send it to us, because last year we got a lot. How many? Last year we got more districts participating. So we'd like to get everyone participating before the end of the month. So send them away, and we will make sure. In fact, we'll go past March. We'll get into April if we have a lot of response. So thank you for that. I also want to bring up that one of our team goals for the year, is to have 75% of all club PI chairs named in our database, and in that we can literally send all these invites to. On the road, we mentioned that a lot of club PI chairs run to us and say, we'd love to be involved. The time sometimes doesn't work, and we get that, and we're always working through that. But if you know club PI chairs that are named in your district, please send them our way. You can send them to Pam. You can send them to our PI team email, which if someone can put on the chat section for us, that'd be great, because then we can add them into the database and they can be more involved. Also, I want to honor our district public image chairs that we have on the call today. Thank you for being here. That is awesome. And we want to continue to have all district public image chairs. If you don't see your district public image chair involved or at these meetings, please send us their email and we'll get them on the invite as well. All right, you have 10 seconds, Chuck, because I'm going to try to end early.
Hey, quick question. We have the 19 PI chairs that we have in our district club runner. Do you see them, or do we need to send those
It needs to come to us, yeah, because we do not see, right, Pam? We do not see club. It has to be on the zone level. We're working really. Pam and the team have worked so hard on fixing this database, and so we're very protective. So
I understand. So we'll get them to you. And Pam, please resend that email about women in Rotary. I want to make sure that we could participate.
So we have to send the PI chair contact information to you guys at Zone.
Yeah, if we don't have it, there's no way to know it. Yeah. Now sometimes we have it, we have access to it. So if it's in your data, and Pam, you can interrupt me. If it's in your database that's accessed through Club Runner, we can see that, right? Or not through Club Runner, through My Rotary.
So in My Rotary, you can see those things. The idea is if you have a Club Runner site, you can go to Define Club Executives, look for PI chairs, download the list, and then just send it to us. And then we would know that what the list is, what you have.
That sounds easy. I'll try to do that this week.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. For my Wisconsin people, for TriCon, I need to know where to fly in. So please let me know, because I don't know. And Michelle's been helping me all morning. So we're trying to figure that out. But I look forward to being with y'all.
Madison would be the closest decent sized airport.
Yeah, Madison's going to be easy, Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
And if
Mary
you're
Beth.
dating, I'll pick you up at the airport.
Okay, cool. I want cheese curds. Mary Beth, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you for your wisdom. You're such an inspiration. And thank you for all you do for Rotary in the world. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
See you at TriCon.
All right, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
See you soon, Patrick and
See ya. Bye, bye,
Tom.
bye.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.